Hello, fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. As always, I'm your host, Ben Rosenbaum, and joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Laura Harper. Coach, welcome back here inside TU Arena.
Thank you so much for having me.
So on the road this past week, down in Virginia, starting off with Hampton, a tough one, losing 61-58, and fell behind early in the first quarter. You go on a 15-0 run, though, in the second to get back in it, and then it kind of a game of runs throughout the rest of the game, and Hampton just able to put a bow on it at the end. Just your thoughts on how the game was back and forth.
Yeah, proud of the resilience of our team. That's something that they continue to come and show up and fight, and we're never fully out of the game. But anytime you turn the ball over 30 times in a single game, it puts you at a severe disadvantage. Such as we were versus Hampton. But credit our team for fighting back and still being in a position and having a shot to tie it at the end.
You mentioned the turnovers. There's some games where it looks like no one takes better care of the basketball than Towson, and then there are games where it's everybody's basketball, it seems like. So 30 turnovers, 26 points for the Pirates off of those turnovers. What do you see when the games where you only have 4 turnovers and then you have, like you said, or like happened this past week, 30?
Yeah, I think we went through 2 teams in a row that pressed us. We know that is something that's an area of improvement, and those are really challenging games for us. But I think we look at it as a challenge to know that this is like an identifiable thing that we can improve on. And I think our team is going to start taking it with stride.
Consistently, though, continue to win the rebounding battle, 41-26 there, so I know that makes you happy.
It does.
Hottie Lay, again, another game with double-digit points. And then Kayla Morris had a season high, 14 for her. And Kayla obviously was hampered with an injury early this year. Didn't see her. Do you feel like we're starting to see Kayla get back into the groove now? She's had some time back, and what can we expect from her moving forward?
Absolutely. Kayla's a big leader for us, both vocally and just on the court, and she's playing more and more confident every single game. It's nice to see how the team responds to her. She's just such a presence in the paint and altering shots and blocking shots and saving our defense. So I definitely think let's look for her growth as we keep going.
So then Hampton's over, you head over to Williamsburg to take on the Tribe, and another slow start out of the gate. Is that something, because we've seen it before, that you've identified, okay, why are we starting slow? Any thought on why you're just having trouble coming out of the gate? Because then the rest of the game, you're in it.
We talk a lot about our urgency and just our attention to detail to start the game. If I can just be honest, William and Mary just came out firing. I feel like their game prior to that versus UNCW, similar. They had a flow, and they looked good at home, and they made some really tough shots. Those guards are, all-league guards.
And again, Hottie Lay, 18 points for her. Doesn't get a double-double this week that we've become so accustomed to seeing, but she does pick up her 4th Rookie of the Week award in the conference. That is the first time a Tiger has had 4 Rookie of the Week since 06-07 in Shanae Baker-Bryson. That's pretty elite company now for Hottie. Has she handled the pressure? Does it seem like it affects someone so young and that she's able to come in and she knows now she's going to get every team's best shot defensively and offensively?
Of course. Hottie is the best rookie in this conference. I'm not biased, but when you think about just her skill set, her tenacity on both sides of the floor, I think she's just such a sponge, and she's picking up, a lot of coaching as on the fly as a freshman, and it's just really fun to coach someone like her.
We hear coaches say a lot, by this point in the season, no one's a freshman anymore. Have you had to be careful with how much you start asking from her? Because she is one of the best players, if not the best player on the floor, multiple times a night.
No, she can handle it. I think the biggest thing with Hottie is just the delivery, making sure that, you're giving her the information in a way that she can receive it, and just continue to coach her up.
All right, and then also that week in the books, and rivalry week essentially here now for Towson. 2 big ones, first against Delaware, and then later this week against Drexel. Looking at the Blue Hens Friday at 6:30. Tara Cousins, who feels like she's been there now for a decade at this point.
Sure thing.
She leads the Blue Hens. Blue Hens having a tough season as well, 4-13. They're just not in the groove that we're used to seeing. What jumps out at you about Delaware when you look at them?
Well, they've been hampered by some injuries like us early on. I know just their roster size was something to note initially, but ultimately they have forwards that are strong like us. They are in a lot of the games. I respect, Sarah so much. She's going to have them ready to play. So it's really going to be about, can we handle their pressure, their presses, and just their their matchup zone that they like to go to.
At this point in the year, how much of it is worrying about, and you haven't seen Delaware yet, but how much of it is seeing and trying to prepare for what Delaware is going to do, and how much of it is it a focus on you and making sure you guys do? Because when you guys are winning games, there's obviously a consistency situation here going on. How much of it is a focus on the Tigers as opposed to focusing on Delaware?
It's all about us. And I think with this team that we've had and this amount of adversity and changes and shifts, it's okay, what's our identity going to be? What can we rely on? And what do we need to improve on? So ultimately, we need to improve on press break. That's not just a Delaware thing. That's an all-conference thing. So you hit it right on the nail right on the head. It's all about us.
Fast forward to Sunday, 2 o'clock, up in the city of brotherly love, still high off a Eagles win, headed to the Super Bowl, taking on Drexel. And you talk about identity. If there's one thing we know about Drexel, they have an identity. They are going to slow the ball down. They are going to work it around. They're going to take the whole shot clock. And it's more about the stamina of defending for a full shot clock, because they'll get a shot off with 1 second to go, and it'll be a great look, and they don't panic. How do you prepare a team from the mental side to take on a Drexel Dragon system?
Patience. I think the fact that we have seen them before and we know how talented Amaris Baker is, I think it's really just relying on our defense, which is something that has improved for us.
All right, Coach, looking forward to it, and good luck this week.
Thank you so much.
All right, the Tigers will take on Delaware here inside TU Arena at 6:30 on Friday, and then on Sunday we'll be up in Drexel at 2 o'clock. For the head coach, Laura Harper, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.